I believe, is one that's a little turbulent, just because there have been a lot of things going on within SAAC. Last year there was the org that was trying to become a part of SAAC, and there was the thing about whether or not KP should still be a part of SAAC that we're discussing right now. And my current stance is I think KP should still be a part of SAAC. I think that KP's mission statement in the Constitution, KP says that we want to educate and empower people to continue to be a part of SAAC, or to continue to stay in this university. That being said, that's definitely in alignment with what SAAC's Constitution says, which is right here. And one of their things, or as a line in their Constitution, as a statement of their purpose, it says, issues of recruitment, retention, academic achievement of underrepresented students. First off, KP Filipino, people that are part of this org are, for the most part, underrepresented people. So if we want to be able to access the things that SAAC is advocating for, we should remain a SAAC org. Furthermore, SAAC was founded on the principle of social justice. I think a lot of the work that KP does is rooted around social justice, and there are so many things that KP could be doing even more to further that goal. I know that for PCC, we try to be really intentional about what we select as our script for the events that we put on, but outside of that, I don't see what KP is doing to be an advocate for social justice and for things, for us to continue to be a part of SAAC organization. I'm sorry, I'm really nervous right now.
Okay, you have a minute.
Something that is really important to me is, as a member of a SAAC org, we need to be allies to our fellow SAAC members. SAAC is made up of 7 organizations, and I think a lot of them aren't as represented on campus. That being said, I think we should be reaching out to those orgs. The events of February, why was the API community so split? Why was it that KP didn't really know where to stand? I mean, I understand that we all have our different opinions, but I think as an org, we should kind of know where to go from that. As allies, there is a continuum for that, and I'm not going to be preaching to you about all of that, but pretty much with certain knowledge of injustices that are going on, I think that to be aware of what's going on, to not take a stand against it, is a lot more hurtful than knowing what's going on and taking to not what's going on. Basically, we should be a SAAC org, and we should work together.
Two-part question. So, SAAC's current state. Oh, thank you. Wait, is that cutting into my time?
Let's go.
Okay. So, SAAC's current state. Right now, I agree with what Angie says. SAAC is kind of, I don't know, in the past 3 years, this is the most unstable I've seen it. Not to say that I'm fully on, like on board with what SAAC's doing right now. I give a lot of credit to our current social awareness and community activism. They update us a lot, like every single meeting. And from what I've heard and what I've seen from going to some of the SAAC meetings is that I've seen a lot of like lackluster. There's no passion, you know. Like, why are they here? I get a lot of whatever kind of from them, you know. And I think in order for us to fix that, because I still think KP should be a SAAC organization. Like Angie had said before, that in our mission statement, one of our main goals is to promote equity and equality for not only Filipinos and Filipinas on this campus and outside in the community, but also for underrepresented students. And that includes everyone. That includes MECHA, that includes BSU, that includes NASA, that includes APSA. And so I think for me, what I want to see, the relationship between SAAC and KP is that I think it needs to be restructured, you know. I think we need to find those, and that's why we're, you know, it's in the interview process right now, so we can find those leaders, the ones that have passion, the ones that, like, you know, strive for equity and equality, for, you know, crap, lost my train of thought. As far as support, I think, it just needs restructure, okay? Like, if we come in, you know, everyone's representing an organization SAAC, if we can even do like Google Docs and like even share Google Docs, you know, like I think that can change like how SAAC is read.
You have a minute.
Okay. I just think it just needs to be fully functional given the right foundations. I think SAAC has a lot of potential to go places. It just needs good leadership, and I think with that, if we pick good leaders and if we have good leaders through KP, I think SAAC will go far. I think SAAC will be reformed next year, given the opportunity.
SAAC is a coalition. That's what they were founded as. And right now I see that they're fragmented. I think it's a struggle that they've had for a really long time. I mean, there are 7 orgs that make up a part of it, and the sizes of those orgs really vary. And I think KP can really pull a lot of weight because we're such a big organization. But at the same time, I don't see what KP is doing to maintain the values of the SAAC. To maintain the integrity of it. The very first SAAC meeting this year, I'm the external or the outgoing diversity advocate for student council, and so I would have to go to SAAC meetings. And our first SAAC meeting this year, we established SAAC, and we redefined SAAC as a place that was just a coming together of activists on campus. It's a political powerhouse. And I understand that not all people in KP need to feel this way, but that's what SAAC is. And so at the very least, KP should be trying to follow that lead, those footsteps. And if SAAC doesn't have the leaders, then that's fine. You know what, I think as an org, then we should support them. To be allies means to be a support for them. It means to work with them, to really just conquer the things that are unseen and that are sometimes not acknowledged on campus. And it would really, really be hurtful for me to see KP no longer be a SAAC org. I think that the reason I was drawn to KP was because it's a SAAC org, because it has these ideals of wanting to help underrepresented students on our campus and in the community around us. Therefore, I think KP as an org should really, really try to just work on the relationships within the SAAC and within our org.
You have a minute. You want
When you're ready to go.
Okay. So basically, yes, KP needs to stay in SAAC. We are actually the largest organization on this campus. So not just within SAAC, but the largest organization. That holds a lot of weight in our hands. And I think what we can do as KP, I think as a board, as a collective, we need to put that on the top. We've always said, like, I don't know, I guess there's a stigma of like making sure that our main events come first. But if we prioritize SAAC and if we prioritize where board needs to go for next year now, then that will be at the top of the list for next year. Just as long, it's all about pre-planning. And I think if we prioritize that now and make sure that all of board is on the same page and not just our social awareness, not just our community activism, not just our gender and sexuality, if all of board is on the same page, I think as a collective unit, as KP, like in the SAAC community, we can go so far. But then again, that also, it takes two, the song, it takes two to make a thing go right? So I think we need to see that same support from SAAC too. And I think if we show how passionate we are for that space, I think the love will be reciprocated. And I think there will be equal amounts of support shown. So if they have the opportunity to do that and we have the opportunity to do that, we can go far next year. SAAC can be really strong next year. And yeah, I think that's how I see it for next year.